So let's start the session. We will quickly go through the PPT and then we will jump to the Tosca on-premise. So basically, before starting, Tosca is an on-premise tool which can only be installed in Windows machine. You cannot install Tosca in any of the other operating systems out there in the market. So this is the agenda of today's testing: fundamentals of testing, Tricentis Tosca life cycle. What is MBTA, which is model-based test automation approach, and the second is certification, where you can do and go through certified yourselves, and the last is demo. So before go to any enterprise testing, or if you want to start any project, hello, my voice is good now or it is very low? Hello.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
So before what I'm talking is before going to some enterprise testing, we need to have certain thoughts in mind before starting any type of testing, whether it's a Windows application or application. So the simple questions are: what to test, what are you testing, first of all, what are the business processes you are automating, what are the technical procedures you are following with the business scenario, whether it is a single app or a multi-level app, whether it's a packaged app or enterprise app. Is your business scenario is containing end-to-end scenarios or not? Then how to test? So you define certain criteria within your Jira or whatever the test management tool you are using. Whether this test cases can be automated or manual or UI or not. Then you have uh, how you are testing your test cases, whether it's a systematic approach or exploratory approach. From the user interface, from the user standpoint, you define certain criteria. Then how you bifurcate your test cases, whether which test case goes to which type of testing, like smoke test, regression test, or interface test. Then when to test, when you want to run this scenario to test your application at the release date or at the test phase, or you are doing in sprint automation, or you are doing n minus one sprint automation. So that sort of question may arise when you adapt any type of testing, whether it's manual testing or automation testing. So to to support this type of testing, we have a tool called Tricentis Tosca, which uh, which is there out in the market, which supports all the application stack, starting from your functional requirement to test case design, test data management, then test case creation, then generate report, then have execution section where you can have your execution logs. So this is some. Please go on mute. Someone is-
Okay. Skipping it.
So basically, this is Tricentis Tosca life cycle, because this has some basic generic sections in Tosca. While we go to the demo, you will see how this cases will look like. So these are then then we move to the more deeper into Tricentis Tosca life cycle, which is basically test management and automation with Tosca. This section will have your technical specifications of test details. So why I'm talking about modules is this is where no coding is needed. So if you compare with Selenium and other tools, it just uh, you need to capture the modules rename it, and identify your module with technical IDs, which is defined by the developers, and then you can use it. Then you can drag your modules to the test case, so which becomes your where you can fill your expected outcomes, how you wanna execute this test case. Then you simply drag your test case to the execution section where you can have multiple runs based on your organization, how you define your test strategy. Then the end goal is to have the reports out of it. So someone cannot go into the tool and have the report. So you need to have something out there to support your reports, support your whatever you have automated. So where generate reports come into picture. Then these sections are like with the starting phase. If you have no other tool implemented, then you can have all the testing lifecycle implemented within Tosca only. You can define your requirements, weigh your requirements. Then you have test case design where you can design your test cases with that, where you can generate multiple test case with multiple data. So that's how this life cycle looks like. Then this is basically a simple application, and this is the business information. That is how you automate in Selenium Java. You need to write certain lines of codes. So for a fresher, it's very much difficult to learn Selenium rather than Tosca. So they need to have well equipped with coding knowledge. Then in that they are able to write the test cases if you are automating the Selenium. Then this is the simple application on our left hand side of your screen, and this is the script which is automated through Selenium. Then with Tosca, we just scan it, and then we have the models like this. As you can see, all the models can be replicated as same as application, and you can rename it. Then you can drag your modules to your test case section. This is how your test case looks like, same as a model. Then you need to run this test case with your specified data, right? So you need to have some data into it. So how you wanna fill it? This is how you wanna fill the data, like you fill in the application. So this is how your application and the test case in Tosca looks like. They're the same. So this is what the application looks like, and this is what the business information in the form of test case by dragging and dropping models into test case creation looks like. Any questions here? Because I don't want to confuse anyone. So if anyone have any questions, you can ask. If not, then I will move ahead. Then this is where the HTML page look like basically. This is the API you can call it as for this application. So if you can call it, if you want to have API test case inbuilt in Tosca, how it looks like. So this is your API, this is your application UI, this is API. Then the API test case also looks like same. Some annotations will change as the UI test case and API test cases, but the way you fill in the values in your test cases is the same. So this is how you can generate your API test case. And you can see your UI test case is same as your API test cases. Just some annotation will change, and there will no line of code needed to write it. This is what a feasibility it will provide. Just give me a second. Then so basically this is what a model-based test automation approach, where you keep on scanning the modules and then dragging those modules to your test case and then reusing it. So basically, model-based test automation approach mainly consists of modularity, reusability, accessibility, and generating the quick things quickly. So that is what our model-based test automation approach is. So basically, Tosca supports 120 plus technologies out there in the market, whether it's a packaged application or an enterprise application or a desktop application or a mainframe application. This is how your Tosca supports all the modules and test case looks like same. So if you want to bifurcate it, you just need to have a strategy around it, how you can bifurcate it with the technology standpoint, and then you can distribute it. Then this is what uh, technology stack which we cover as a test automation, functional test automation tool called Tosca. So these all technologies are supported. So the way you scan all the modules are same. The way you create the modules are same. Just the way you need to learn is how to create a module with best technical properties and how you can use it. Then these are some of the certification. You go and search it and the Google you can get it. So these are some resources which I guess HKR will be sharing with you after the training. This is a short demo. I hope you are able to see the process screen. Can I hear a yes or no? Seems I'm talking to someone. So this is how your Tosca looks like. So this is basic screen from Tosca. So once you logged in, once you connected with the license, this screen will appear. Okay. So basically, this is a module section. This is a test case section. This is execution section. Then this case design, then requirements, reporting, crash book, and this is your project root folder. There are some more sections you can see configurations, which we can cover in the later part of the sessions when we go deeper into it. So today I'm gonna cover these two sections, which is very much important when you start your journey with Tosca. So first we will cover this module section. So basically, this is a website we gonna steer today. So we're gonna see how we can steer this application. Okay. So simply go to the module section. Then you can do right click scan. So this is how you can scan your application out there in the whatever is scan, whatever the application opened in your desktop. Okay. Then these are the applications that which we support, and this is how we can scan it. For now, I will select applications because I need to scan HTML page. This is the scan of Tricentis Tosca scan. Then you can right click it, and you can see the best possible way to scan this application. Okay. It is AI based tool also, so it automatically gives you a best possible way to scan this application. Then you can select this, and it will capture all the controls out there in the application. Okay. So if I do a highlight on screen, it will highlight it that the particular control is selected as a web page. Then if I go in and select email, so I can do a highlight on screen. So highlight on screen is nothing but uh, the best use of capturing the control to make sure that you are capturing your controls rightly. So there is another way I can do select on screen. If you can see select on screen, it will gives me a visibility, so I can directly select it from the screen. So my controls are selected. Now if you go in here, you can see this item is unique. So before steering your controls, you need to make sure that your controls are uniquely identified. If I unselect it, by default it is coming as uniquely identified. If not, you need to make your controls uniquely identified. So for that, we have 4 different identification methods in Tosca. So the first method is identify properties. So if you go here and then I select identify properties, so if I select this control and I can select the best possible way to make the control uniquely identified. So for example, these are the properties which is defined by developer, which is captured by Tosca extend. I can select this ID, which is pretty much uh, characters, and it will not change in the future. Okay. Then if I have password, so again the ID can be selected, but for your sake, I'm just uh, explaining you the anchor one. Anchor one is nothing but the relativeness of the particular control to make that control uniquely identified. So by default, if you can see, it makes my control uniquely identified like this. You can jump to anchor, what anchor it will take. So it takes the parent label of it. So it's a AI powered tool. So by default, it will take. If not, then how you gonna make this control by using anchor? So just for example, I removed it. So for now, it the doesn't use the API like AI capability, and your control is not unique. Then you just select the parent control, which is pretty much unique by the ID, and then you will select this control and anchor it. Select anchor, and then you can drag this control to a particular anchor control. So it will make your control uniquely identified. So this is how you can drag and drop to make your control uniquely identified. The third way is index. Okay. So for example, if you have multiple buttons, which is pretty much generic in your application. So for that, we have different indexes of the button. So for example, if you can have Mintra on the screen, okay, you have add to cart for many of the products. For that, you have pretty much unique index. So for that, you can select index and you can make your control uniquely identified. And then the last one is uh, then the last one is identify by image, which is nothing but you are identifying your object with the image. So that's all. These are the 4 identification properties. There is one more. So identify by parent. If you can see here, if you select any of the control like this and you drag this, so you can see the DOM structure of all the page of your page, whichever you have selected. Okay. For example, if I want to make this uniquely identified with the help of parent. So how I am doing parenting. Just select the immediate parent as you can see, I need to make this parent uniquely identified. Ultimately, my particular control will uniquely identify without selecting any property. This is how you will do parenting. So also you can see self-healing properties here. So for example, in a coming release, so for example, this is your release one. In release two, you came to know that these control properties got changed. Okay, so capital email will be goes to small email. So to reduce the maintenance effort, self-healing properties will be there. You just need to rescan it and click on self-healing. It will automatically take all the selected control whichever visible on the screen, and it will, with the help of AI power, it will uh, take your properties and change your properties. So you don't need to do control by control selection and make your control uniquely identified. So this is the powerful feature which they have. So another thing in the scan is filter. You can also filter visible and invisible control with this. Then you have search. Obviously, if you want to search something like YouTube, so you can search it whether it is present. So it is not there, so if you cannot find the text YouTube in the DOM, whatever you are scanning. Okay. Then, for example, so without closing it, you can do a refresh and you can scan. To make sure to explain you this show content preview, I am using this table as an example. So scanning the page. So heavy the DOM, it will take more time to scan. This page DOM is very heavy, so it will take more time. Sorry for the delay. Then I can select by using select on screen. As you can see, there are 1556 controls. So this is also gives you a like, value how much control is visible. So for now, this many controls are visible on the screen, but you can see there are a lot many controls within the last of this screen also. Customers. Then you can see the same table can be replicated here. Okay, I will move this control identifier with ID itself, and I will save this. This module is saved. So this module is saved. If you want to rename it, you can rename it. Now, how to create a test case. So this is all about the basic steering of application and the overview of XCAN. So there are a lot many standard modules which comes as a standard package. So if you are doing day-to-day activities like copying one file location to another file location, so that is how you can do it. So these are some standard modules which Tosca standard subset provides. So you can use these modules do the uh, daily routine tasks. So copying from one file to another file location. And if you have some date to put on, so you can do it. You can delete the file, you can copy, create, append, whatever you want to do. You can, if you want to write any certain line of text, for example, in mainframe, so you need to, for dummy purpose, you need to check whether 100 files can be uploaded in one go or not. So you cannot, for manual person, it's a very tedious task to create 100 files and then upload it to mainframe application. So for that, you can directly use this module to create a file, and then you can just create a file like on 100 times in one go, and then you can directly upload it. So all the things which you are doing day-to-day activities, you can be find it here in the standard modules. You can see the description here. So how there are some column chooser, you can add it. So you can have this description added here, and you can reuse the description. Okay. The second thing is T-Box X engines, which is nothing but whatever the engines they support. Okay, I told you they support 120 plus, so don't expect there will be 120 plus standard modules for the application. These are some generic applications which can be used amongst any company, any enterprise, any project. So these are some basic uh, technologies which they use. Examples: databases, .NET, HTML5, mobile. So you have pretty much mobile integration. So as you can see, all the modules are same. So you can also verify your mails, send, receive. So all the things you can do it. And, the module. This is called modularity. So all the modules looks like same. Now there are some test management things you can do it. So there are three test management things you can do it. One is TDM, which is a legacy one, which in a couple of months they're gonna uh, stop the support for this. Then they have test data service. So, for example, you are manual team and automation team working on the sprint automation, and manual team tells us that whatever the automation team generating the data, they are gonna use it to the manual testing. So, how you gonna leverage those data? You cannot do and write the data on Excel. So this is how test data service comes into place. You can directly write your test data, host it on a web URL, and you can give access to those people who are working in the project, and they can access it. So this is like some deeper part, but this can be possible. And the another way is test case design, where you can design your test cases, test sheets like Excel, and generate an instance on top of it. So this is the example test case which I have prepared for you. This is like opening the application, enter the vehicle data and all those things. But before that, how you gonna create a test case? Okay, either you just go and drag this to a particular test case folder, create a new test case, and remember one thing. This is like a tip while creating a test case. Your one test case can contain multiple test steps, but your you cannot create an end-to-end scenario when like one test case represent one test step. So that is what. So by that, what I mean is the one test case can have multiple test steps like this. So you can directly create a multiple test steps, but you cannot do it like this. One test case, you somehow rename it like this. Test case one, and then you have multiple test case in it. Okay, this is another way of creating test case, but this doesn't represent your end-to-end test case. This is your one test case it represents. Okay, so this is a best practice that you not need to follow. This is a good practice. You first create a test case, then you can have multiple test steps like this. Just drag and drop will work. For example, in this, I need to verify that in my first row, third column, there will be Germany. So how gonna I steer it? Just like this the table comes. Just provide first row, third column, it automatically takes as country, then Germany, then right click and run it. Got passed. As you can see, you can see the expected outcome and uh, actual value which you provided into the test step. So this is Scratchbook. So in Scratchbook, you do not have freedom to store your logs, but in execution section, as you can see, you are happy to have the logs in it. Okay, like this. This is how you can have execution section. You can have number of logs in it, as you can see. Once you do another run in Scratchbook, so the previous result will wash out. So this is it gives you a feasibility to test your particular test steps whether it is working fine or not. So this is how you can create your test steps and provide your values within the test step. So this is called test case. This is called test steps. This is called test step values you want to provide. And these are some action modes. In Tosca, you have like six uh, action modes. One is input, whether you want to input the thing in the text box or any of the control, then what you need to verify from the control. So, like we verified in a table that the particular content is that. Then, if you want to have some buffer, so in runtime you need to pick some values from one page and verify that the same values pops up into the another page. So you can use buffer. Then you have wait on. So wait on meaning if this particular control will be visible, then do another steps. So this is wait on, then select, then constraint is the another thing. So this is how you can do action modes. Then we have work state, you can mark your test case as planned and work completed. This all comes under when you design your project into Tosca, and you need to have some certain sort of strategy while starting your project with Tosca. Okay, so the basic thing is I have something created for you guys. So this is how the application opens. This is the expected value I want to be the application, then it will enter the start date of insurance, and then it will use some configuration parameters. I will come into the configuration parameter in a while, then it will run it. Okay. So what is this configuration parameter? Test configuration parameters are some configuration which you need to define to run your test cases in some of the environments, and if you have certain constraints, so you can define it on which environment, which URL it needs to be done. Then this can be also leveraged as the test data. As you can see, I have gold fetch value from here. I need to fetch. So where I am fetching it. So you can go it and translate the value. It is fetched from the configuration parameter. Okay. So this is how you're gonna fetch it. So this is one end-to-end test case which I created for you guys. And let me run it. Just you can drag and drop, so it will create your execution list. So it will open the browser because I have defined that browser test configuration parameter as no. So now it will click on track, and will enter all the values. I'm not doing anything. It is purely automated. As you can see, it is seamlessly integrated with the value which I want to. Send the text. As you can see, my test case got fast. I can see the logs here. Whatever the test expected value I have done to the particular test steps and the applications, and what are the logs and what are the verifications I have done. So this is the three main sections. So once we have met, I'm gonna stop here because I ran too much fast. I know, due to the interest of time. So these are some important sections. If you have any questions, just please, this is your time. You can ask me. Once we have another sessions. So once more session will be planned, we will go more deeper into these sections. This is just a demo. This is what I have for you guys. If you have any questions, just ping me on chat. You can find up little early. I will give you your 9 minutes.
Is there any scripting available in this, or only drag and drop?
No scripting is needed, as you can see.
Scripting is needed.
No scripting is needed.
Okay, fine.
Any more questions you have? If not, we can just close the session. Then later on the stage, we can have more deep dive session, how to install it, how to get the licenses and all those things. Thank you all. Have a good night and a great evening. Thank you so much.